And here you go. You can see the broken head gasket. Alright, with the razor blade, scrape this all off. Same thing for the block. Now we got our new head gasket on. Now we can go ahead and put the head on. First sequence is 22 foot-pounds. Now you loosen them. Now we torque them down to 22 foot-pounds again. (54 to 61 foot-pounds). (87 to 116). I don't know why it's such a big gap, but it is. I'm gonna go in the middle with 100. Now we're going to put our exhaust gaskets. We're going to leave it just sitting on the studs right now, so we can mess with the intake and the EGR loosely. Because if we bolt it down right now, that's going to be rigid and there would be no flex in it. You have your lower intake gasket. Now we make sure that the intake manifold, there's no gasket remaining on it. And now we'll go ahead and install it. This tube back here, that's on the bracket of the head, it goes to the bottom of the intake manifold on this butterfly valve. Last thing we're going to do for today, install this EGR gasket. These stubbies from Harbor Freight makes it real easy to get to the back ones. You just go behind these coolant tubes and work from there. Right here in the center section, there's 3 hoses. There's one down here. This one hose goes from this valve up to the throttle body. And it's paired up with this hose that goes to this right side inboard. We're going to go ahead and put our fuel rail in. This hose off the back of the head of the bracket goes to the fuel pressure regulator. And this hose from the EGR valve under it goes to this tube at the bottom, under the fuel pressure regulator. And right here is where it goes. From the main harness, we're going to get the driver's side plugs on. You got your green one, your brown one, and then your O2 sensor. Alright, this other little harness on the back side of the intake manifold, there's 2 plugs. Okay, everything is back together. Now we're gonna check the oil. Oil is good. Now I just gotta fill up the coolant and then we'll bleed the system. When I rebuilt my motor, I had the same clicking issue. Once I let it warm up and know that I wasn't overheating, I drove it around, and just building oil pressure like that, it took away the noise. But it's been sitting like this for about 5 days, so that's why there's no oil pressure up in the valves, up in the lifters. So we're gonna go ahead and bleed the system, and then we'll go for a drive. And there you go, it's running. The tick is away. I've had a slight tick on it, so it's not completely gone, but what you heard initially on startup, that's just from the lifters bleeding down and all that. After, if the cooling system completely cools off, you might have to top it off. Any air trapped in the system through that whole driving with it closed off, it'll just be sitting up here on the top of the radiator, so the fluid's going to get sucked in a little bit, so you'll just have to top that off. But make sure it's cool when you open it up, before you open that up. So now I'm just going to go ahead and throw the battery tied down, throw the hood back on, go over everything, making sure I'm all squared away. That's how you replace a head gasket on these 240s single cams. Hopefully this video helps y'all. Y'all have a good one.